Properties of multiplication. Multiplication can be indicated by putting a dot between two numbers or by putting the numbers into parentheses, like this. We won't generally use x to indicate multiplication, like this, since we're going to use this letter a lot in algebra as a variable. Therefore, multiplying 3 times 2 will look like this or this. Multiplication is repeated addition. So to find the product of 3 times 2, we would add the number 2 to itself 3 times. 3 times 2, I like to think of this as 3 groups of 2. So 1 group, 2 groups, 3 groups of the number 2. 2 plus 2 plus 2, start at 0, move 2 to the right, 2 to the right, 2 to the right, and the answer is 6. Since addition is commutative and multiplication is just repeated addition, multiplication is commutative. 3 times 2 is 3 groups of 2. 2 plus 2 plus 2 is 6. 2 times 3, you can say 2 groups of 3. 1 group, 2 groups of 3. 3 plus 3, start at 0, add 3 more, you still get 6. There's nothing special about the numbers we chose. So in general, a times b is equal to b times a. Adding a number a to itself b times yields the same result as adding a number b to itself a times. Since addition is associative and multiplication is repeated addition, multiplication is associative. So for instance, in parentheses, 3 times 2 times 5 equals 3 times, in parentheses, 2 times 5. Let's check if that's true. Well, 3 times 2 is 6. 6 times 5 is 30. And over here, we have 3 times 2 times 5. So we'll do this first, right? PEMDAS, we do parentheses first. 2 times 5, 2 groups of 5 is 10. Times 3, 3 groups of 10 is 30. Yes, it's true. And we can also see this on the number line. All right, so here we have 3 groups of 2. So we add 2 to itself 3 times, 1, 2, 3, and we get 6. Then 6 times 5 is 6 groups of 5, or 5 added to itself 6 times, and we end up over here at 30. On the other hand, here we can do 2 groups of 5, or add 5 to itself twice. We end up at 10. 10 times 3, 3 groups of 10, or 10 added to itself 3 times. We still end up at 30. There's nothing special about the numbers we chose, so in general, this is true. Multiplying AB to itself C times yields the same result as multiplying BC to itself A times. Now, let's look at multiplying by 1. When multiplying 7 by 1, we're adding 7 to itself 1 time. Therefore, we will remain on the same number that we started with, which is 7. You can also think of this as 1 group of 7, or 7 groups of 1. 1 plus 1 plus 1, 7 times. Since there's nothing special about the numbers we multiplied by 1, this is true for any number. A times 1 equals A. The result of multiplying any number by 1 is the original number. Next, let's look at multiplying 7 by 0. When multiplying 7 by 0, we're not adding 7 to itself at all. 0 groups of 7, or 7 groups of 0. Therefore, our starting point will remain on 0. 7 times 0 equals 0. Once again, since there's nothing special about the number 7, this is true for any number. A times 0 equals 0. The result of multiplying any number by 0 is 0. Multiplication is distributive, so we can either add these two numbers together first, so 4 times 1 plus 2, 1 plus 2 is 3, 4 times 3 is 12, or we can distribute the 4. 4 times 1 plus 4 times 2. 4 times 1 is 4, 4 times 2 is 8, 4 plus 8 is 12. Both sides yield 12, so they are equivalent, and that can also be seen on the number line. There's nothing special about the numbers we chose, so in general, c times a plus b equals c times a plus c times b. Adding the sum of a and b to itself c times yields the same result as adding the product of c and a to the product of c and b. Since addition is closed for integers and multiplication is repeated addition, multiplication is closed for integers. Any two integers, when multiplied together, yield another integer. If a and b are integers, then a times b is going to equal a times b. That means a times b is an integer. Here's a summary of the properties of multiplication.